In this economy, the question is, what do you do with the recession being the way that it is and people struggling to have a job? Well, you can go into entrepreneurship. Coming up on this edition of Perspectives, we go front and center with an author who talks just that. That's straight ahead on this edition of Perspectives with yours truly, Daren Jaime.
Anything relevant to life, you bring it to the table. Whether you make a move solo or a movement with a stable. No fables, you speak on your decisions. Cause in the long run, it's your voice, your views, your vision. Keeping it real with many messages for you to know. This ain't radio, but DJ runs the show. Entertainment, he rocks it. Politics, he locks it. The host with the most would handle any topic. Don't forget to share your perspective, which shines a light. Cause it might make a difference in someone else's life. What's your perspective?
And hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Perspectives. I'm Daren Jaime, and of course, we invite you to stay connected to us multiplicity of ways, but make sure you hit us up on our social networking sites, as well as check us out on the web, www.bronxnet.org, and there you can see some past episodes of the show, and also be able to share with us your comments and your thoughts. But coming up on this edition of Perspectives, we go front and center with the issue of entrepreneurship. It's not an issue, but it's really a career, and more people are breaking out and getting into entrepreneurship. The economy has forced people to really deal with entrepreneurship. Our guest in studio is not just an entrepreneur, he's a motivational speaker, an author, and there's much more to his experience. He's Dr. Michael McCain, and he's a poet, entrepreneur, life coach, spiritual teacher, and most of all, the author of this book called The Newborn Entrepreneur. And we're pleased to have sharing with us Dr. Michael McCain. Pleasure to have you back here.
Thank you, sir.
One more time you come back here and you share a little bit of your experience in The Newborn Entrepreneur. And congratulations on the book.
Thank you. Thank you.
So for somebody who doesn't know about entrepreneurship, you've taken it, put it into a book form, and it's become very real for you.
Yes. Entrepreneurship literally is like the lifeblood for me. There's been so many opportunities for me to do different things, but kind of finding yourself, you know, what it is you love to do, what it is you're passionate about, and being creative, taking the opportunity to be creative and turning it into something profitable for yourself.
Now, when you look at life now, and I start out by saying this, that, you know, the way the recession has been, the economy, has really forced people to look inside and find their own gifts, their own graces. And inside of a lot of people is this burden to try to even create entrepreneurship. Some forced, some just because simply this is what they want to do. Are you finding more and more people out there just really just going for it?
Yes. There is like an awakening, so to speak, with entrepreneurship. Even for the people that are working the 9-to-5 job, they're finding that it takes more to live, you know, financially. And some are using those entrepreneurial pursuits to create more income for themselves alongside of the work that they already have.
So as you began to write the book, what were some of the foundations to get you to write this book? It's called The Newborn Entrepreneur, and if you haven't seen it, let me just lift it up for you right here. It's called The Newborn. First of all, tell me about the title. Why The Newborn Entrepreneur?
I chose The Newborn Entrepreneur because literally I wanted people to know that from the womb or from conception, you have treasures, gifts, talents, ideas, and things on the inside of you that throughout the course of life is like a newborn. You have these things in you, but it's a process of getting to know them and them unfolding in your life, you discovering them, and also it's like a baby being molded and born and taking those first steps, you know, those first stumbles, learning the language, so to speak, and things of that nature, growing into the adult or the person that you will be in the future.
As you began to write the book, obviously you're writing through experience as well, and you have ventured off to be an entrepreneur as well. You're the president at the Blend Media and Maximize Publishing, and you've got your own business that's going on there. When did you decide for you that this is what I wanted to do?
I made that decision in between some changes that was going on in my life, such as divorce, dealing with some changes that happened with ministry, and I realized that I was dealing with a situation where I knew that I was talented and gifted, and I was not fully using everything that I had on the inside of me, which caused me going beyond just writing the books to seeking to maximizing my potential and using the publishing company to take it a step further, not just publishing my own work, but also helping those that needed an outlet to have their voices be heard.
Mm-hmm. And so how's it feel being a publisher?
It feels great when you connect with people and you're able to help people birth their visions, coach them through steps necessary, because some people need the help. You know, they have the idea, they have the message, but may not have everything that's needed to get them through the process. And so it has enriched me with several different skills that I didn't think would be possible. All I knew is that I wrote books, but I never knew that I would end up being a CEO of a publishing company and coaching others and bringing others through that process.
When you talk about your book, there's a couple of chapters that we'll go through, and I want to go through this though, but the makings of an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. What makes an entrepreneur? Because somebody says, maybe that's not me. What makes an entrepreneur?
What makes an entrepreneur is knowing that you have vision, and knowing that the vision that you have is very achievable. You know, people have dreams and desires, but anytime that you have a passion that burns, it's something that you feel like you cannot live without. Whatever that calling is, that talent is, or that gift is, it's a sign to you that that's something that you should be pursuing further or working on to develop. For some people, it may not mean quitting your job right away. It may mean taking the necessary steps to making that dream more of a reality and disciplining yourself. One of the keys is the discipline, to sit and dedicate yourself time-wise and educating yourself to the fulfillment of the process of that.
You said something very important about quitting your job right away, because I think sometimes when people get the conception that they're supposed to branch off in a different area, whether it's entrepreneurship, even when it's time to move on and find another job or a career path, it's almost like the first step that people make sometimes hurriedly
Right.
is to abort the job that you have.
Right.
Speak to us about that, because you got to know when to make the move to be that entrepreneur. And I know for you, you've made some moves in your own life, and one even moving down south. But talk to us about the timing in making these moves.
Timing is very critical. Timing is critical because it hinges everything, the success or the failure of whatever it is that you're moving into or working on. So you have to be very strategic in what you do. You have to have vision for what you're doing. You have to plan, have strategy, learn the process of, and getting familiar with those things. Some of the things that you'll do, it'll take you time to get familiar, learning yourself, learning your strengths, your weaknesses, and things of that nature. All of those things are important to know in the process of starting up a business, and the maintenance of the business. And once you're fully into the flow of those things, having the discipline to keep up with the challenges, the demands, the different seasons of change that will come your way. I think most people go into entrepreneurship blindsided with great expectations, high expectations, and sometimes those things are not realistic. They may not play out the way that individual may intended or visioned for it. And those are also things that you need to prepare for. I talk about it in the book, prepare for the worst.
Right.
Sometimes you have to prepare for the worst from the beginning so that you're not caught off guard. Giving yourself a plan, if it's a year, if it's a 5-year plan, to what it will take you to get you to that place that you desire to be.
Let me take a quick break and come back more with Dr. Michael McCain talking about the newborn entrepreneur. Going to go in depth. That's his book. We're going to go in depth and take a look at some of his chapters. Let him give a little bit of insight into it. And I guarantee you that if you're looking to become an entrepreneur or just want to strengthen your skills as an entrepreneur, we'll help you right after the break.